Hello, everyone. It's me again, Professor Jeremiah Elioso, and welcome to Operations Management in Tourism and Hospitality. Right now, we are going to discuss the significance of total quality management. Since the last time we were talking about the concept of the total quality management, we have learned the history and also the the pioneers of total quality management. Let's check on what impact could the concept of total quality management give in our industry. So, managing quality is critically important in hospitality industry beside with other types of business. The importance of managing quality for tourism organization has vividly augmented in the last years due to the high level of competition in the industry produced by the globalization and fewer obstacles for entering into the industry. Considering the concept that we have learned in various hospitality professional subjects, we are aware that our industry is a service industry, and our industry is geared towards an international um, job opportunity. We would always encounter a diverse customers, and most of the business are gearing towards globalization, meaning to say that chances are that we would have international clients or guests and employees coming uh from many different parts of the world. And so it is of paramount importance that we pay attention to quality. Quality in the hospitality is defined as the consistent delivery of products and guest services according to expected standards. And considering that our guests would pay so much value for the products and services that they are availing, or uh, that they would consume or purchase, it is important that the business enterprise would always adhere to the standards. Creating value for the guest will lead to retain guests successfully. And when we talk about guest retention, managers must know the importance of it in this particular type of industry. When we say value, we always have to keep in mind our guests, and that they should always be satisfied with the level of service that we are giving. We have to constantly give our 110% best so that this will build customer loyalty. They will remain loyal to the brand. So let's take a look into the quality components in the hospitality industry. And this is from the Foundations of Lodging Management from Pearson Education. So we have to consider the guest being served. That means we have to understand the demographic profile and the psychographic profile of our guests. We have to understand or determine what they want. And that means we have to study, we have to carefully analyze their needs, wants, and demands so that every time we would be able to attend to their needs, we would be able to address whatever problems that may occur. We can personalize the service. And with that in mind, we could develop procedures to deliver what the guest want. We could meet their expectations. And one important consideration for us to be able to achieve that is to train and empower the staff, because with the human resource or with our employees, they would be able to deliver what is expected. And then we have to implement revised system, or we have to develop system uh that would best meet the objectives of the organization. And then from there, we evaluate and modify service delivery systems accordingly. So whether the evaluation result would be positive or negative, let's continue all of the positive feedback. And from the negative, let's try to correct and mitigate those things. A SWOT analysis would be helpful. If you are familiar with SWOT, it's an acronym for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And that's one way for the organization to be able to work on the things that they can improve on and to fully capitalize on their strengths. So, quality in hospitality is fast delivery because on a customer standpoint, we would always want fast transaction, fast delivery. In as much as possible, we would want to serve our customers in the shortest time possible because not all customers have the luxury of time to wait for them to be served. And that's one indicator of quality. And then another would be perfection. Although perfection is very hard to achieve, but nonetheless, if we try to aspire for perfection, we would constantly give our 100% best to execute in accordance to standard. And maybe that is our own definition of perfect when we are able to meet the expectations or meet the standards. Then quality is providing good and usable product or products that would meet the needs, wants, and demands of our guests. Consistent delivery is synonymous to quality. You have to make sure that every time you perform that service, it is always the same. It is consistent or it is at par with the standards. You are always consistent at your best. And then you always have to do it right. And guided by the principles, values, and guidelines of the organization. It's like following the what our quality gurus would advise to always do it the right time. I mean, do it when you do it the first time, chances are that you would have a consistent delivery of your products and services. You have to keep in mind also to delight or please your customers, to eliminate waste because waste are such a liability for the company. It would just consume your much of your time, much of your resources, much of the money goes to waste. And waste has to be eliminated just like what we have learned in the various theories or laws associated with operations management. Then total customer service and satisfaction, which is one of the ultimate goal of any organization. And it's not just in the hospitality and tourism, but maybe all across. Then compliance with policies and procedures. When you only follow policies and procedures, you'll never go wrong because the policies and procedures are created or are standardized in order for you to meet the desired objective. But just like in any organization, which is not perfect, policies and procedures could still be in the works for improvement, for revision, because just like in life, it's there would be many changes, and we always constantly quest to to be perfect or at least to meet our goal and expectations. Company's ability to sustain its competitive lead is vital for the stability of the business in today's highly competitive market. And quality is one of the important factors for keeping the company in a competitive advantage. It is the extent of how well a service provider can meet or exceed its customers' needs and expectations. In the free market, competition tends to be high to achieve customer satisfaction, which is very important because of the following reasons. The offered products or services are similar, if not identical. In a free market competition, it is given that you would have competitors who offers the same products and services. But that's the challenge in business. Even if you would have the same products and services, the game of the competition is who will survive or who could offer the better products or services. And then also, it's important to consider that or to think that prices are not easy to change. Of course, there's law of economics that we have to consider. There are many variables that could affect the pricing of your products and services. But nonetheless, the quality of your product should not sacrifice. And then another reason is the cost to change to another service is measured as low. Therefore, customers have stronger negotiating power. Therefore, quality management and continuous improvement are closely associated concepts. So customer satisfaction and recalling loyalty are very important to any hospitality organization because of the strong market competition within this industry. So since the competition is very stiff or the competition is neck to neck, and let me add the concept of globalization. The tourism and hospitality industry should always strive for continuous improvement because if you do not improve, you will be left behind. So let's move on to the organization structure and hospitality industry firms. Organizational objectives require the organization to structure the human functions and physical resources through breaking down the tasks into roles. And each role has to be placed under a specific department, and each department has to have an identified role. This way, it will ease the achievement of the organizational objectives. If we're only to recall the very meaning of total quality management, you remember that you have to have the involvement of everyone in the organization. And with that in mind, everybody should have a clear role and expectations on the things that they are going to perform. They have to be aware of the vision, mission, and core values, and also their duties and responsibilities, so that together, all of the members of the organization would be able to be heading on the same direction towards the accomplishment of the organizational goals. And a good practice in structuring hotels is classifying the department in accordance to its contact with the customers. If you may not have been aware that in the hospitality industry, it is being classified as the front of the house and the back of the house, or the front departments and the back departments. So it's easy to understand the difference because a front department or front of the house department are the units or departments or jobs that would require customer contact, meaning to say that they are the ones in charge of communicating with the guests, being the standard bearer of the organization. whereas the back of the house people or the back department are performing supportive tasks. They do not necessarily have a direct contact with the customers, and the customers of the back of the house department are the front of the house personnel, because they are the ones preparing the needs of the customers behind the curtain. So they would most of the time be at the backstage, or at are performing behind the scene activities. Examples, let me see if I have example here. So example of the front of the house personnel would be the valet, the the concierge, the receptionist, the door person, the bellman, and then the back of the house would be the chef, the housekeeping department, the office staff, who are not would not have frequent interaction with the guest. All right. Let's check this structure of a limited service hotel from Stutz and Wharton, 2006. In the figure below, we could see a typical structure of both limited and full service hotel types, while the number of employees of 500 is the boundary line between the two types. So in an organization, you could adjust the organizational structure accordingly depending on the size of the business enterprise. So it could be as simple as this or as complex as this one. So what can we learn from this organizational structure? So as we were mentioning a while ago, that we have to have separation of tasks, and the human resource should be grouped accordingly based on the nature of their work. But regardless of your unit or department, we have to be working hand in hand. And everybody should be aware of what they should do, so that we are heading towards the same phase or same direction for the ultimate achievement of the goals of the organization. Okay, so let's move on to the factors relating to expected quality. So first is market communication. So this includes all that a marketing department can do to reach the customer and persuade them to purchase their products or services, which includes advertising, direct mail, public relation, and sales campaign, which are fully controlled by the company itself. And this indicates that a part of what the customer expects is created by the company itself. So there are, as you may have learned in your tourism and hospitality marketing, there are various ways by which we could communicate to our clientele. It could be in using many different forms of media, whether that's in print, that's or the print media are like the publication in newspaper, in magazine, or whether that's on TV or on social media, which is the thing right now, the digital marketing. Um, all of these platforms could convey information to be able to persuade or to attract your customers to purchase your products and services. And the message could set expectation to the level of quality or to the specifications of what your company could offer. Another factor is word of mouth. It's a factor which is highly influenced by what previous consumers or of products and services are being sold or have said or are saying, which can either be good or bad, depending on whether the expectations of these previous customers have been met or not. And I am very sure that we all have experienced being agents of word of mouth advertising. If you remember the time that you have been very much satisfied with a product that you have ordered or with a food that you have availed at a restaurant, you are very much excited to tell the good stories to your friends. And your friends could also be influenced to purchase the same. And this could have a multiplier effect. And so it's the same when your experience is negative, and it tends to have the same multiplier or domino effect. So what can we understand from the word of mouth? So it could work positively or negatively. So this is the same for image, because our words could build a certain imagery to our customers. You see how the words can be very powerful. And then customers' needs. This is based on the gravity of the need itself, meaning how important is the need of a customer. For example, is if a customer is looking for a hotel, in this case, the service which is needed is a room to stay. In the higher the need, the more is expected, and vice versa. We are all aware of Abraham Harold Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And as humans, this has to be fulfilled. We need to have satisfaction, or the gap of these needs has to be fulfilled. And as future members of the tourism and hospitality industry, we have to understand that whenever they would come into our business, whether that's a restaurant, hotel, or any industry within the tourism and hospitality, they came in for a reason. They have a need that we can fulfill. So that is an opportunity to step up to the game and to be able to deliver, or to be able to satisfy their needs. All right. And also, service quality is an achievement in customer service. Customers form service expectations from past experiences, word of mouth, and marketing communications. Customers compare perceived service with expected service, and which is the former falls short of the latter, the customer are dissatisfied. And that's understandable, because as customers, we would always check our perception with expectation. And as we would always see on the memes of expectation versus reality. But as the goal of the tourism and hospitality industry, or any business enterprise, we have to make it a point that the perception would at least meet the expectations, so that the customers will be satisfied. But if the the perception falls short of the expectation, then it will result to disappointment. And we don't want that to happen. Service quality can be related to service potential. So for example, that's the worker's qualification. So just like when a worker would apply for a job, we have to consider the academic qualification, their skills, their experience, and that is service potential. Service quality could also be related to service process. For example, the quickness of service, which is part of the process. You are reviewing their methodology, or how they are able to transform an input to output, and the service result, which we would always want to be our customers to be satisfied. All right. So like service quality, we have to measure all of the elements of the service, from input to the process and up to the output. There are two basic dimensions of service quality: the technical quality and the functional quality. The technical quality is what the customer receives as a result of interactions with the service sphere. Example, when I order something, what is the type of food or what is the quality of the food that you are going to give me? Or when I check in at the hotel, what is the technical quality of that service availment? What will I receive as a result of this interaction? Whereas a functional quality is how the customer receives the service. It's the expressive nature of service delivery. So it's kind of easy to understand. Technical quality answers the question what? What do you give? Functional quality is how did you give it? So you see the difference. Let's move forward with the 6 criteria of good perceived service quality. First stop is professionalism and skills. The knowledge and skills employees possess to solve problems in a professional way, as well as having the right operational systems and physical resources to resolve issues or provide a service. So it's highly expected in the tourism and hospitality industry that the employees would be very much professional, highly skilled, and that is the reason why we always yearn for continuous improvement in our craft through education, training, workshop. So that will improve our professionalism and skills. Next is attitude and behavior. This concern are the concern and interest service employees possess in solving problems in a friendly and spontaneous way. So this is the functional quality. So when we work, it's not just about knowledge and skills. You remember the 3 facets of competency. It's not just the knowledge and skills, but also the letter A, the KSA. Attitude and behavior is also of equal importance with the knowledge and the skills. You also have to be able to develop that positive working attitude and behavior when you work, because chances are, if you may be very much knowledgeable and highly skilled, but if you do not possess that right attitude and behavior in the workplace, then things could definitely go wrong. Let's talk about a functional quality related of accessibility and flexibility, such as location, operating hours, employees, systems, design, and operation are structured in such a way deem it easy for the customer to access a service or product as a well prepared to adjust to the demand of a customer. So we want our business to be accessible, to be within reach to our customers. And of course, we have to be flexible as a business. And now, more than ever, with the pandemic, we have seen how the business has transformed, how they made themselves available, accessible, and flexible, so that even in the times of pandemic, their business would still be surviving, and they could still deliver their products and services to our doorstep. Next is reliability and trustworthiness. Is the ability to keep promises and perform with the best interest of the customer at heart. So this is also one of the things that our customers are looking for, the reliability. And there are some business who had their um, moments of truth where customers have been very much disappointed because some establishments have overpromised and yet they have under delivered. So that's kind of deadly or dangerous. So you have to make sure that when you promise, you will keep to your promise. You will deliver what is expected so that we would be able to build trust and loyalty from our customers. Next is recovery. This is a functional quality related, and this is the ability to effectively respond to unpredictable and unexpected events and actively take actions to keep a situation under control and find the best solution. So, this is also, or we could also look into the many activities being done, which are or the recovery agenda and activities being done by the different establishments in order for them to recover from the business losses because of pandemic. They have reinvented themselves just in order for the business to get by or to survive. They, and this is their way to effectively respond to the changes of the new normal. They have to adapt to various situations. They have to make themselves available. Okay, because if you're not going to adapt to changes, you will be left behind. And then lastly, it's reputation and credibility, which is of technical quality, the belief of being trusted, as well as providing the adequate value for money for good performance and values shared by the customer and the service provided. So this is somewhat related with reliability and trustworthiness. As a business, you have to build a good reputation. And the indicators of reputation would be the testament of your clientele. Just by them speaking good words about your business or the positive word of mouth, their posts on social media talking about the good uh, review of your products or good delivery of your service is or makes you credible as a business. Maybe added bonus would be the review of your peers or competitors. Awards are indicators of your a very good reputation of the business and credibility. So with that, we are done with this module. I hope that you have learned a lot today, and we will stop from here, and next week would be a brand new topic. So thank you very much, and you have a great day.